Good morning, entrepreneurs and builders. Welcome to the Breaking Business Podcast, where we don't just talk marketing and entrepreneurship, we dissect it, we challenge it, we extract those golden nuggets that you can actually use every single day. Business is in your blood, and I'm here to make it boil. I'm your host, Dr. Wood. Now let's break it down and build something great.
Let's get real for a second. We all know that consistency is the name of the game when it comes to content creation and marketing, but what they don't tell you is it can be really exhausting. Really exhausting. And today in this video, I wanted to look at what every business owner has to go through. Marketing burnout. What does it look like? Why does it hit so hard? And more importantly, how to stay consistent without losing your mind. Anyways, let's jump right in. So first, how do you know that you're burning out? A few signs that come to mind really is posting feels like a chore rather than a strategy. I mean, you're looking at the computer, you're about to hit the record button, and all you can think of is, do I really want to do this right now? Second is you're scrambling for ideas or feeling uninspired. You know, with the rise of AI and having AI kind of work for you and you're researching, it doesn't really seem like it could be a chore, but it actually can be to try to fit together all these different scripts and all the different thumbnails, all the different parts of a marketing strategy. Sometimes it just really gets unpleasant. And then also when you start to obsessively look at your metrics, you're hoping for that next view or you're hoping for that next call, and you feel crushed that an hour goes by, 2 hours, a whole day, and you don't even get what you're expecting to come out of a video. And then you just start to avoid marketing altogether. You know, if this sounds familiar, you're probably experiencing a little bit of marketing burnout. But why does this happen, really? Well, there's a few reasons. The first reason I would say is probably hustle culture. We've been fed this narrative that if you're not posting daily, you're failing. Or if you're not getting a view daily, you're failing. Or if something new isn't happening weekly or monthly and you're just doing the same thing over and over again, it's insanity, essentially. And that just isn't good overall. Then there's also the aspect of too many platforms. Where should you post? Should it be Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, LinkedIn? I mean, there's 1,000 different places you could go, and sometimes it just gets too much for one person to plan it all out and schedule everything, and most of the time automations don't fit every single little narrative that needs to happen to make a full strategy. 3, there's the aspect of perfectionism or even imposter syndrome, where you'll waste so many hours looking at different things to make sure that it's perfect rather than focusing on the impact of the content you're making or the marketing aspect to your ideal customer. And you end up wasting 12 hours a couple weeks at a time, 12 hours to a couple weeks at a time trying to get things right. And in reality, nothing's going to be right the first time. You need to consistently go back and check and make modifications, 1% positive change here versus there. And eventually you make something that's worthwhile to both yourself and your audience. But then following up with the imposter syndrome, you end up with an unrealistic expectation of who you are, who you're supposed to be. And reality is nobody goes viral overnight, obviously. A business doesn't form in weeks, it forms in months and years. And there's many different hands and many different hats that are doing one single thing to make something happen. And that lightning in a bottle aspect of virality is, sadly, it is lightning in a bottle. It is viral for all intents and purposes because it is unique, it is scalable, it's all these different things that mix together. And let's face it, 99.99% of people fail at any one thing at any given time. And so you need to realize that and realize that that is imposter syndrome if you are expecting to be the lightning in the bottle every single time. But here's the kicker of it. Burnout just doesn't make you tired. It sabotages your whole idea of your business. You become this inconsistent drone, which kills your trust between your audience, between your business, between yourself, and even other employees. And the content also drops, not content and quality of content, not just from a video standpoint, but how you execute each of the videos or how you decide to interact with subsequent content going into the future. And this also resonates to how word of mouth, from a physical standpoint, word of mouth, if you are not consistent with it, then you end up getting lost in translation, kind of like the telephone game. And that's kind of an abstract similarity similarity between it, but there is, the worst case scenario in the cost of burnout, and you just quit. You stop. All the momentum, everything that you've worked up to this point, it's for nothing. You've built up, 1,000 views, 2,000, maybe you even built up 10 views. Remember, 10 views is 10 people who you kind of caught. You caught them. You caught their attention. You caught their motivation to view you. Burnout happens from both sides of the aisle as well. It's not just creating content, but burnout happens in the consumption of it as well, and researching. So when you check your own stuff and you check the analytics on the back end for not just YouTube or not just Facebook, not just LinkedIn, but you look at the back end of your entire business, remember that it's year one person impacting 100 people or 200 or 1,000 or 100,000, depending on where you're at. And you want to position yourself and position your brain in a way that's okay. It's okay to just be 10. It's okay to just be 100. But how do you stay in this long-term strategy? How do you fight against this burnout? And there are a couple different ways that I think would be a really good situation to put yourself in. And the first would be kind of this batch automation strategy where you just load up on everything, right? So you pick 1 to 2 days and create 10, 20, 30 different pieces of content, and then you utilize automation such as like Zapier or Buffer or scheduling tools within the different platforms, and you set up a consistent long-term routine of posting from week to week, month to month, however you want to do it. And then in addition, I would also simplify. Don't focus on the fact that there's 1,000 different platforms that you could go on to. I mean, there's the 10 different versions of Facebook. There's 100 different versions of Instagram. I mean, you gotta pick a couple. Keep it small, keep it simple. Get small, get simple, and stop chasing the shiny object or shiny object syndrome for where to post your content. And then also, I know I'm loading a lot of stuff on you, so we'll keep it. This is quote unquote step 3. You want to find content within your content that can be repurposed or evergreened into the system month after month, year after year. A good way to think of this is imagine yourself as a pest control technician, and you have a brochure that you have developed that has all of your contact information, has all the various pests that you're going to deal with, highlights everything great about your business, highlights the who, what, why it matters to the customer, and you have it all in a nice little simple brochure. Well, that brochure is repurposable content year after year, season after season. That is essentially what you're going to want to figure out and find out with your own content how to make something evergreen or how to repurpose it. And this can be infographics, this can be blueprints, this can be ebooks, this can be videos that don't change. A good way to think of videos that don't change is for this content in particular, the 4 P's of marketing. Well, that's been set in stone. The 4 P's have been pretty much codified into what marketing is as a basis, as a foundation. So that's repurposable content. The 4 P's aren't going to change because I decided it was going to change. I mean, instead, utilize it and every year refresh it with something new. Make it a little bit different, maybe freshen it up a little bit, make the visuals a little bit better, but that is evergreen content. I know I'm rambling on those first couple steps, but let me get to the next couple. So you also want to set boundaries for yourself. You should decide in advance how much you want to post and realistically what you can actually manage. I know a lot of us are working people, and so I don't have 10 hours a day to look at my computers. I work as a plumber. I work as a pest control technician. I'm doing this as a hobby. So keeping that kind of mindset as a side gig, and setting a realistic boundary for yourself on how you create this content and how you put this whole system together, that's going to give you breathing room and not give you outlandish expectations to where you get bogged down that you're not meeting those week after week, month after month. And schedule your off seasons, schedule breaks in between. I mean, sadly, you're going to lose momentum, but hey, that's okay. I mean, if you keep pushing to the point that you psychologically break, then that momentum is going to mean nothing anyway. And so you have to have a breather, a season that you can say, you know what, I need 2 weeks off, because at the end of the day, this entire system can end up being a job, but not a job, because you're not getting paid to the same degree if you're doing it as a side gig. But I digress, right? right? Remember, marketing and content creation and this idea of virality versus quality versus money, all of this, it's an entire marathon of the entire system, including you. And you don't want the burnout of this to steal your momentum, both in your own emotions and mental capacity, but you also don't want it to steal the actual momentum within the algorithm. So tell me, what's your number one burnout struggle? Drop it down below and let's help each other out. Let's help the other people who comment and figure out how we all can help each other thrive in this ever-changing and ever-evolving environment. And hey, please be sure to hit that subscribe button and tune into the next video. I'll catch you next time. Bye.